Hi dreamer, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, this is kind of travel video and half highly requested Luna video. She has been missing from the channel for quite some time, and honestly, she's really the only kind of content that you guys continually ask for. And so I'm happy to share. I mean, she's really too cute to just have to myself all the time. In this video today, I thought that it would be like a super casual getting ready for a trip vlog where I kind of go through what I do to prepare her for me going out of town. I will be doing a travel video pretty quick here on the channel where I'm going to take her with me out of town and we're going to do a whole bunch of fun puppy things. But if you've been here a while from the very beginning of me having her 2 years ago, then you would realize that I talked about traveling with her a lot and I don't do it as much as what I thought that I would. And the number one reason why is really her. Her personality really lends itself to playing with other dogs and that interaction. She travels really well with me and she's well behaved and trained and she does fine on the road, but she loves going to other dog houses and playing with the other puppies. She loves all of her sitters that she has. And so really, it just seems kind of silly to take her along on all of my like road trips and all my plane trips and subject her to that whenever she has a better time staying with a sitter. I'll talk about my like sitter experience and how I've went around finding her a bunch of sitters for me going out of town a little bit like later, but we are leaving tomorrow for a trip and that means even though she's already pretty worn out, my job is to get her even more worn out today. So we're gonna go do a big walk and then I'll catch up with you just after. Okay, let's go for a walk. Okay, I have convinced her after the walk to come back here and lay. And you can see she's pretty wore out. She's gotten pretty wore out. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So this morning, one of the things that I definitely do every time that I'm going to send her to a girl is sorry, she's like panting now. It's all wore out. All that Florida heat. And so I gave her a bath this morning. I always just do it in the kitchen sink. It's nice because she's sink sized. One of the number one things about Yorkies and keeping their hair really nice is conditioner. That's like one of my like secret weapons. And so if you have a dog with like long hair and it's just not quite as like soft and silky as you want, conditioner is definitely one of those secret weapons. So I was going to comb her a little bit, but I might wait till a little bit later when she's a little less hot. And then I'm gonna have Brad come and help me film some stuff to kind of talk about with her and everything else that I do to kind of get her ready. I did want to talk about who I use to watch her whenever I'm away. I have always used the Rover app and I've really had good things to report from it. I've went through probably between Illinois and here, probably 10 different sitters. And I would say 7 or 8 of those, about 7 of those have been really good. Prices on the Rover app can vary greatly, anywhere from like $30 a night all the way up to $85 a night. I did have an amazing sitter down here. She was unbelievably good, but I guess she was just like too popular, and so she raised her price to $85 a night, which depending on what kind of city you're in the US, maybe that's like normal boarding rates, but that's out of the budget for me, especially whenever I'm traveling multiple days in a row. Where Lou is going tomorrow is a sitter that specializes in small dogs. So she's not going to have anything but dogs under 15 pounds there. And I think that Lou's just a lot safer in an environment like that. She loves the big dogs though. Don't get me wrong. She would happily go and play all day with like a husky or a golden retriever if I would let her. One of the things about using Rover is like you are at the mercy of like other people's schedules. So I think if you're going to be traveling a lot and using a app and having someone watch your dog, then you should have at least 2 standard sitters in the city that you're located in. I have 2 in Illinois and I have like 3 down here in Orlando, all of which I have properly vetted and met, and Lou has stayed at least 1 night with them. So I can call any of them up at any point in time and have them watch her. I still book through the app. Now there's some discussion on this because the fees through Rover are pretty steep, and so you can obviously get a much better nightly rate if you book directly with the sitter. But these are just people that are having your dog in their home, and the Rover app does include some insurance, and so I think it's worth it to probably pay the app fee and just communicate and do the things through the app. They are providing you a service to begin with and finding you the person, so I'm going to kind of continue to use them. If they wanted to sponsor me, I definitely wouldn't turn that down. I use the Rover app many, many times a month to find sitters and someone to just go and check on Lou if I'm like out for the day. Sometimes they'll come by and walk her for like 30 minutes. I've used that kind of service. So they have a bunch of different services on there. And like I said, most are good. I would just use your due diligence before like leaving your dog long term with any of them. I will say if you're looking to get like started with Rover, and if you're looking to provide the service and like board dogs, here in Orlando it is so competitive. I've been on there before whenever I've had like some availability, which isn't very often, but here or there I've had like 0 inquiries. It's really, really competitive. There's a lot of people looking to do that here in the Orlando area. But if you're in a more obscure area, then there's probably more opportunity to get started in the Rover app. So I'm gonna let her cool down and let Brad get off work so he can kind of help me film. I want to show you all of the tricks that she currently knows, and I want to go over the food and the things that I send on the road with her before I take her to her sitters tomorrow. One of the best things about like Rover is the fact that they can allow you to drop off your dog and pick them up like anytime. So I'm actually dropping her off at like 9 a.m. and then I'll be able to pick her up the Monday that we come back, also around 9 a.m. So that's really, really nice because you're at the mercy of like a kennel schedule otherwise. And so you might have your dog there longer than what they need to be. So I'll catch up with you guys like in a little bit though. And we'll get to messing with this little puppy. Luna has rested and she is ready for her grooming. Yes. So I always groom her really well before I take her to her sitters. It doesn't honestly do any good. She always comes back really dirty and needing another bath, but at least she's not being dropped off all dirty. All right, let's comb you. So I just use a paddle brush for her like grooming. Some Yorkie groomers definitely use like a comb also, but I think a paddle brush is really fine. And honestly, she really does like just fine with it. She really doesn't like mind it at all. I mean, in some ways I think she almost like enjoys it because you got like a little bit of like half sploot out here, which is she's like full relaxing. There you go. Relax, girl. People think Yorkies need a lot of grooming, but they actually really, really don't. We comb her every few days and that's really plenty. She doesn't really have like too many knots or anything that like needs taken care of. I love like right after she's like brushed because she's like extra fluffy. Like look at this fluff. Also, the older that they get and they lose their puppy coat, Now that she's about 2 years, there's pretty well like no puppy coat like left, and she stays a whole lot better. That transition period, that teenage phase of whenever she, look at this is naughty.
Hey, let it go. Drop it. Good girl.
But that teenage phase that they go through where they're like half in puppy coat and half in like long coat, that is a nightmare. And so you think you go through that and you're like, oh, my Yorkie's never going to have like a long silky coat. They're going to need comb like every day. That's just a transition phase. So her hair wouldn't be, I actually probably could have put more conditioner on it. It is a little bit dry still. I am in the works of transitioning her food to something that has like a little bit more like fat content that should help with her coat luster too. But I'll talk about food here in just a minute. So I give her a really good, bless you, I give her a really good brushing here, and sometimes I'll trim her nails and everything too, but I do a lot of her grooming here, like at home. I don't actually like send her off. Groomers are expensive, you guys, so I'd be curious to know if you do most of your grooming at home or if you send them out to it. But she gets a little rebellious whenever you get into like her face and stuff. She gets kind of naughty and a little bitey. But you can tell that she like still doesn't really care. Like she's full sploot here with these little pawsies. So she's not particularly perturbed. She's really just being naughty just because she knows she can get away with it. Don't ya? So this is about the time that she starts realizing that like something's going on, is whenever I kind of pull out the bag and get her like food out and everything. One of the number one things that I send with her, of course, is food. And then the second thing is like her harness. I always recommend, depending on the level of experience of the sitter, to have your dog wear a harness instead of a collar. It's just much more secure on their like walks and stuff. So I will be transitioning Luna over to her harness before I take her. She's funny. Anyway, though, I mentioned that I have been like transitioning her food out. Right now she is on Neutro Ultra, which has been fine, and actually I probably am going to keep her like at least on that to like a 1/4 of a degree, but I'm also transitioning her to this like sundae. I just like spilt it everywhere. That's okay. Lou will eat it. So I've been transitioning her to this like sundaes, and it says it's like human grade. Research wise, I think this is pretty good. I did have her whenever she was a puppy on the farmer's dog, and even though I think the quality of that is fantastic and she loved it, it's like just not viable because we're always on the road and traveling, and it takes up almost like an entire shelf in our freezer. It's just not doable for our lifestyle. So this sundaes is freeze dried, and it's a little bit more affordable than the farmer's dog. And what's kind of crazy about it is like almost like how much they need, because she only needs about 1/6 of a cup of this a day. So I've been kind of transitioning her away from her Neutral Ultra just because I haven't been super happy with her like coat health lately, and she just also doesn't love it. But this sundaes she like loves. She eats it like treats. She treats it, you know, like it's like a treat. So anyway, we're going to be gone for like 5 days, and I'll just like measure this per day and then just put it in the bag and then just put the feeding requirements on the bag. You can't expect your sitter to really remember. The app does tell them, but I just like to write on the bag so they don't have to get into the app. And then so I just measure that many days, and then I also do 1 extra day because there's always a chance that we are delayed. So you want to make sure that you send them with enough food, that they have enough in case you get like delayed at the airport and need to extend your stay. Also, depending on where I'm going, I might even add like 2 or 3 days to it. You just never really know. What I also send with her besides food is a couple of these enzyme chews. I've experimented with different oral hygiene chews with dogs before, and these are really kind of the the best ones that I've found. These were recommended by her like vet. These are really big for such a small dog, so I only give her half a day. She likes them and will happily chew on one, but she kind of plays with it first. It's not like her number one, like most favorite thing. I will give these in just the bag because why waste like the plastic? Also, just to make sure that her tummy's not going to be upset while she's gone, I pack her own treats. Most sitters have their own treats for dogs, but I think it's wise to like pack your own treats that you know don't upset her stomach. So I'll also put some like treats in this food bag for her to take with her too. So the only other thing that I pack is her crate. She's very well crate trained, and I just think it's a safer environment and more peaceful for her to spend the night. Sometimes she sleeps in her crate here, and sometimes she sleeps in the bed with us. So it just kind of depends, but whenever she's at a sitter's, I definitely send her with her crate to sleep in. She loves it. We don't really have any problem with it. Finally, I thought that I'd give you guys a little bit of a training update on all of her like tricks. This is actually something that we always do whenever we're going to be gone for a while, because we go over her tricks and training every day or every other day. And so being gone for the 5 or 6 days that we're going to be gone this time, we like to reinforce them before we leave, because I can't guarantee that the sitter is going to enforce any kind of laws whenever Lou is over there. So without like further ado, let's kind of like dive into that.
Down. Yes. Sit. Not very good. Up. Okay, sit. Yes. Spin. Yes.
That's her favorite. She loves to spin.
Paw. Yes, good girl. Up. Yes, good. Okay, touch. Touch. Yes. What else do we got?
Her new one.
A kiss. Kiss. That was a pounce. Kiss. Oh, she doesn't want to do it. Hold on, sit. Down. Yes. Kiss. Kiss.
Oh.
You're just trying to stiff my hands. Oh, yes, I know. That's the paw. Okay. Kiss. 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 Yes, that's good. That's a kiss.
Those all looked good. You're so smart and beautiful. Okay, so as you can see, we're pretty obsessed with her, and I'll definitely miss her for the few days that we're gone. But like I said, she's gonna be so happy at her sitters. I hope you guys enjoyed this Luna update. I'll be back shortly with another travel video or a Luna update if you guys would prefer. Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you soon. Bye.